So by way of introduction, Justice is the co-founder of Love Renaissance, Love Renaissance. If you're from New Zealand, it's pronounced differently. If you're from America, it's pronounced differently. Record label, artist management company, currently working with acts such as Summer Walker, Black, SPINALL, and more.
Yeah.
Have I got that tight?
Yeah, for the most part.
Cool.
Also just like a educational company too. I just like think of new ways to like describe ourselves.
Yeah.
But yeah. You got it right though. On
Cool.
paper, you got it right.
Cool. Okay. And educational, elaborate on that for me.
I just made that up.
I love it.
Right now.
I love it. Let's add it. Add it to the website, man. You're gonna be typing that in. So it's a record label, an artist management company, and an education company. So there we go. I was thinking back to when I first met you. Would have been over 7 years ago. I think it was right as Black started bubbling, and our magazine Sniffers reached out to you guys to shoot a cover. And to be honest, man, it was like so refreshing as a New Zealander to be welcomed into what you guys were doing. Like, you know, I think looking back on it, you were some of the first people to invite us out to your studios in Atlanta, which was amazing. To host us at the Grammy parties you guys were throwing. You always had us there. And also, I think the most important thing was like what I got from you and your team was that you cared about breaking your US clients in other territories.
Yeah.
And not everyone's thinking like that. You know? So I just wanted to reflect on that and just say thank you, man. Like, thank you for welcoming us in like you did. And I hope in turn we've been good comrades down under. But like when I was reflecting on how we met and what you do, I think that was such a pinnacle part of it. Was like you weren't just focused on the US and what was happening. You weren't looking at this territory in New Zealand, Australia like it was micro.
Yeah. No, I mean to be fair though, like New Zealand and Australia are one of my favorite markets. Just like as just like an artist manager or a record label executive, I think that like it's so untapped because it's so far away from everything. And not everybody wants to take that flight, but you guys are just as in tune as, London is or Toronto is. So I think that like, and also just like I have such a great time down there. It's so beautiful. Any opportunity to get there, I kind of do. But like, I kind of like to tap into what you were saying in terms of just like being globally focused. I think that kind of is like it's a reflection of kind of how we grew up, first generation immigrant, as well as all my partners. My family's from Ghana, but growing up in Atlanta, I kind of got to see both sides of the spectrum, and it kind of gave us the edge or gave us the inclination to know that like there's a big world, and thank God for the internet because it just made it so much more apparent that we all share the same interests. It doesn't matter where you are. So growing a company, I think that being globally focused is like one of the most important things for us as we're trying to build an ecosystem for the artists.
Do you think enough people think like that?
Slowly but surely, it's the tide is turning. I'm starting to see more artists that like never thought that never really wanted to leave their neighborhoods, starting to leave their neighborhoods a lot more. And you can thank Instagram and TikTok for that. Just the idea of, I was talking to an artist that we signed, I wouldn't say their name, but like, they're like, okay, cool. So like at this part of the rollout, we're just going to go on vacation and show that we're on vacation. Like that's part of the rollout for them. Right. Like that's insane. Right. Like that, but that's the reflection of how the internet has like shown that travel is almost a part of the flex. It's almost a part of, you growing or you expanding. So, I think that's changing 100%, and I'm happy to see it. Yeah.
And so you were born in Atlanta, then moved to Ghana during your early childhood, and then returned to Atlanta for 6th grade. How do you think that diverse upbringing of where you've been has played a role in how you work today and how you think of the world today?
It forces you to adapt, right? I think that like being comfortable was never an opportunity that I got to have, right? Like, being born here and then going over there, growing up over there, that kind of like growing up over there, it's almost like this weird like elitist mentality, right? So like you're born here and you're growing up over there. You're like, well, like I got an American passport. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not you guys, you know, like, as in the brain, but you're growing up there, and then you come here, you come back here, and you be like, well, I have an American passport and I'm going to school here, but like also like we don't share the same, you know, cultural values or conversation, and so it's just like I was always being forced to adapt, you know, and I think it influenced just how I thought, my thinking process. It wasn't always, well, that there's a door, walk straight into it. It's always like I have to make two lefts to be able to get them to understand the two lefts that I made, and then once they understand it, I can make the right and I can walk through the door. So for me, context was always important. Painting a picture is always important. Also, being well spoken was always important, because having to articulate, you know, what it is that you're thinking, or like how to get somebody to understand your vision. I think that's a skill. Adaptation and like learning how to like vocalize how to adapt, I think is equally as important.
And adapting at that young age, was that difficult?
Yeah, it was, because as a kid, you don't want any level of difficulty, but you kind of just had to accept it. You know, it just is what it is. It's just like, you know. But I always felt different. I always felt like I was an outcast in a different way, though. Like, you know, I had a lot of friends. I was always blending in, like in terms of like the cool kids, like the in crowd or whatever it was. But like deep down inside, like I never shared like the same interests they did, right? Like I just knew how to adapt. And you know what I'm saying? And like,
chameleon.
Yeah, I just knew how to just like to be in it. But I'm just like, nah, like, you know, like I like architecture, I like flowers, I like, you know what I'm saying? Like my interests were just different. And, you know, just learning how to like, I guess, do what the in crowd is doing, but also just like find my unique ways to get out what I was into. And, you know, the older I got, the more confident I got, and the more, you know, examples I got thanks to the internet, you know what I'm saying, in terms of like, oh, this is like a way to exist. Or this is possible, this is not so strange, and like kind of just giving you that, you know, courage that, okay, cool, like that's a whole archetype of a person. It's not just you, right? And then that's when I think like I got deeper and deeper into music, and I started finding my tribe and, you know, building that.
Cool.
Yeah.
When you found your tribe, what did that look like? What were the early moments of that for you?
It was leaning into my senior and freshman year in college. My senior year in high school, freshman year in college. I think that's when I was a lot more clear in what I wanted to do for my career, for my life. Always been into music, you know, like in 6th, 7th grade. Actually, no, 8th and 9th grade, I would burn these CDs, like these little mixtapes for myself, because I always used to listen to music on the school bus on the way to school. Just any second I got, I was always listening to music, and I was ahead on like the new releases or whatever it was. And like there was a crazy story, but one day, like I think it was like I was in gym class or something like that. You know, in gym you go do the locker changes and all that. And I came back from gym trying to go in my book bag, and I'm like, like my CDs are gone. You know what I'm saying? Somebody like took my shit. So I was like obviously like pissed off about it, but whatever. So somebody basically stole from me. I guess like a week goes by. The person who stole from me says, like those CDs are fire. So again,
crazy.
I like
the disrespect.
The disrespect with respect. And I'm like, you know, like that's the power of music, though. Like, you know, and he was like,
they were sitting there for a week feeling guilty because they know the shit's fire.
Yeah, he's like, can you like make more? So then I kind of like saw that as an opportunity to just like start making them and just like giving them to my friends, selling them here and there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so just, are you friends with that person still?
No. I don't really
cut them off.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah. So like again, so like then I found like a interest in like really looking for new music and searching for like new things and like putting people on and just like curating in that aspect. So that was like my first early days in curation. And then, you know, as I kind of got deeper into it, you know, to go into your question, finding my tribe, it was people that were into the same thing, you know, like, and a lot of them are my partners today. You know, Junior, we went to the same high school, and he was just like a blog era champion, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was like deep into like
MySpace.
Yeah, like I'm talking about like the Nah Right, Two Dope Boys. I don't know if you know about that era.
Yeah. Pigeons and Planes.
Yeah. Now this is like Pigeons is like newer. This is like
this is
like
OG.
Ill Roots, like
Got you.
deep. You know what I'm saying? And like he was always finding new shit, and like we always used to trade new music. And like I remember going to my first concert. This was like right when my first real concert that mattered. This was ASAP Rocky dropped Peso and Purple Swag, and me and Junior went and Carlin went, and that's just when I knew like, okay, cool, this is my tribe, this is what it looks like. And we were kids mosh pitting in the middle of the thing, and I was just like, yeah, this is awesome. And that's when I realized again, like music and community and all those things are just so important for somebody that's like growing and finding themselves. Yeah.
And then you mentioned that was the start of your curation. Did you do that for some time, like making these tapes and getting them out to people? Like, how did that all look?
No, I mean, I think I was doing that all through high school. And then when I got into college, again, like I said, I was more direct in what I wanted to do.
Got you.
I wanted to be in the music business specifically. But again, like there was no, like, again, blueprint, kind of like how you were saying. There was no way. I didn't really know anybody. But again, just like timing and like aligning your I feel like when you align your interests and you're like very clear in interest, like things just start coming to you. The universe starts rewarding you in that way. So like, the odds of me wanting to be in music, but like me being a freshman in college, my roommate next door, literally this would be my room, the next door over was a guy named Kip. Kip was I guess a product of being in the music industry because his older sister was Carrie Hilson, and he made beats and he was a DJ, and that was just like what are the odds? We're freshmen in high school together. I mean college together, aligning and really understanding and learning about what he knew that I just didn't know, and then through that and through his relationship with his sister and like just like me kind of getting insights into like, oh, this is what the music business looks like from the inside, okay, cool. Then starting to throw parties to like use that as like a reason to like, be able to get people together and like, also get closer to artists or like, have real relationships that like, could I guess move the needle. And then after that, me realizing that, okay, well, like I know what it is to be a manager now because I had no idea. Let me take a stab at it. And I was just going through Facebook, and I remember there was this girl that I used to love her voice in high school, and I hit her up, and I was like, "Yeah, what are you doing?" And she's working at like some fast food restaurant, and I was like, "Yo, like let me manage you." She's like, "I don't really know what that means, but cool." And that was just me like just diving into it and like really being headstrong and focused about it. And I knew this is what I wanted to do. Like for me, it was just. And, I think that, like, also, like, as you're chasing your dreams, too, like, the soundtrack to your life is so important.
It's cool.
What you're listening to, I think, is, like, so essential to, like, curate, how you even see the world, because everybody's going to, like, not everybody specifically, but a lot of different, people that just don't see it how you see it, will, like, give you or derail you or, discourage you. And that's just a part of the process. But, when you're listening to the right songs and in the right way, it makes you feel like you can do anything. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Soundtrack to your life. What were you listening to at that time when you made those kind of like first steps into music management? Like what was in the headphones?
I mean,
put you on the spot.
No. I mean, I remember like it was yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it's the right timing for that, but I mean, J. Cole's Friday Night Lights was like super important and super pivotal in that time. And Kanye's Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Those two records were like, literally in Dark Twisted Fantasy, he was like, basically, he was an outcast, in whatever world that he was trying to create.
Yeah.
And it just like was like a representation of like what I felt like I was. Cool. Friday Night Lights was, Cole talking about, being a college student and trying to make it in the rap game and the whole Jay-Z story and like all those different things. It just curated, again, like just being a dream chaser and like trying to like figure it out. yeah, those two projects specifically like were.
Cool.
Important.
And so Carlin and Junior were with you at this time. Would you say that like you guys were throwing parties, bringing artists in closer, you reached out to this artist to manage, said, hey, I want to manage you. Were you guys like rolling together at that point as like, we're going to make this a business, we're going to do this? Or was it kind of more just like, we love music, we listen to music, we like the business side of it? Like, how did that formation happen of those people? Because you're obviously surrounded by people that were your peers that were like you, but like, how did that eventuate?
It was very organic. Like, Junior was on track to be a lawyer. Carlin was just my road dog and just like super talented, like as like an artist. Like he used to draw and like he made like art and like, you know, he was just like super dope in that way. In terms of music, like I was the one that like was like music. And then, you know, working with this artist that I was talking about, I realized that like, you know, I needed, you know, some art to, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't know how to make the art. Carlin knew how to make it. And like, I asked him, like, yo, can you make the art for me? And
so you're talking like cover art, music videos, like all that.
Yeah. And like, and we just like, we worked well together and we had similar ideas and like, you know, we would enhance each other's ideas. And like, that's just kind of how it naturally started. And I was like, yo, like, you want to like, you don't really like school. You want to just do this journey with me? And he's like, yeah, let's rock. So like, that was kind of like the vibe. Yeah.
And how did you meet the others?
Through a mutual friend. Mutual friend Trayvon. He introduced me to, I mean, like we all went to the same college, but he introduced me to Sean and Tunde. And then that's just kind of like how, like I kind of like brought everybody together, almost like just like the bridge, because we were all just doing separate things. I was just like, yo, this makes sense, you know.
Why do you think you were drawn together? Was that like, again, a curation thing where you're just like, I can see this and like, I'm like, we need to bring this powerhouse together?
Well, it's funny in hindsight. Yeah, it's curation again. I think like that's
crazy.
That's kind of like my gift to the world, which is just like, you know, in my phone, I have so many different types of people that I know and like I have genuine relationships with. And I realize that it's not normal, you know, like, you know, I'm able to relate to so many different types of people. So because of that, it gives me an opportunity to be able to bring a unique type of, you know, group together, which is interesting. Not just saying like, yeah, so it's not just music, it's not just like art, it's like people too. Cool. Just learn something new about myself.
The adapting from the young age.
Yeah.
What like-minded qualities did you feel that you all shared during that time and in the formation of this like curated group?
The first inclination of like knowing that like we're all on the same page is again our background. We're all first generation immigrants. And if you know anything about a first gen immigrant, like, you know, you wanted to chase your dream in music. You're like, bro, like, you know, the cliche, yo, be a doctor, a lawyer, like that's like the vibe. So we all understand that like we can't fail. Right, like it's actually no room for failure. Like there's no safety net. If you fail, you fail. So like that sense of hunger, I think, was just like the thread. That sense of hunger was the thread, and that background in terms of like how we were raised kind of was like a thread. And I think after that is just like our ability to see the world. For being such a big world and like being, again, not just local minded, just thinking from a universal standpoint. I think that was like also like a huge needle in our thread. Yeah. Anyways.
Cool. Did you ever have a stint as a producer or artist or?
Yeah, I mean, I was like a rapper for like 2 days.
Crazy.
Man, and I realized that my
2 days.
Yeah, my voice was the worst voice ever. I hated to hear it. And I was like, bro, I would never do this. This is embarrassing. So I deleted those songs and kept moving.
And hope they don't pop up in SoundCloud.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know if I could find it. Yeah. It's on somebody's computer.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And who was the first artist you started working with in the Atlanta scene?
Was this girl that I was talking about.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it matters to say her name, but
go for it.
Her name is Ari Joe.
Cool.
Like I said, we went to a high school together. and she's incredible voice.
What kind of music?
It's like in the R&B, all R&B space. Cool. Yeah, I've always been into that. Yeah, it was like the post Janae era.
Yeah.
This is like when she dropped her EP or her project called Sailing Souls, and like so it was like she had like a certain aesthetic. It was like that. It was in that vein. But still had like an Atlanta twist to it. It was cool. It was really cool. Like it was buzzing locally. But obviously, it didn't go all the way. But yeah.
What were the main things you learned from working on that project?
We never wanted more than an artist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still to this day, right?
To this day.
When you start to get inclinations, because this is something that I've struggled with and trying to navigate and figure out, and I even had one of my team ask me like 2 weeks ago this exact question. When you start to see that happening, obviously there can be many things. It could be, other commitments. It could be mental health. It could be imposter syndrome. It could be self-belief, whatever it is that might make you feel like you want it more than the artist based on how they're communicating or how they're working or behaving. What are some of the things that you've done to, as your partner, this artist, like what have you done to kind of coach them through that or to work through that?
That answer varies based on the different stages of my life. Like when I was at ground zero, like I will, motivate you, show you books, videos. I was like, I actually had like a whole regimen to like really get somebody to realign and like get right back in tune with like what their purpose is. There was like a whole regimen that I learned that I really was hands on with all of my artists. And a lot of it was mental, and a lot of it was just like the education and the isolation, and really just like understanding what it is that you're trying to communicate, and like really helping them flesh out what it means to be an artist. And that was my way to like help develop and help coach. But that was in the beginning, Now, if you ask me, I'm like, no, nothing, because I'm older now, and just like I think that like I'm spending more time now believing into like pouring into myself and my ideas. Yeah, and I only now get excited if an artist is just excited as I am. I mean, now it's just like if you don't want to do it, cool. Time is like so limited. Yeah. And like I'm fighting for time every day. So it's just like I'm not trying to convince you. And obviously it's just an influx of ideas and influx of things that just like, at my doorstep every day. So it's just like what I decide to commit to like has to really meet me the same level of intensity. Otherwise I would gladly walk away. Yeah. I don't care how talented you are. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
And you mentioned pouring like value and time into yourself. Like what does that look like for you? Because it's hard in this industry.
Yeah, I mean, I think like for me, just to be transparent, like a lot of it, I went through a breakup, maybe like almost 2 years, going on 2 years now, and like the reality of it was just like after that, I realized that I didn't know what I liked anymore. I was just like
crazy.
Yeah, like what are you into, bro? Like, what do you do for fun?
Bro, I just went through this. Not the breakup, but the what do I do out? Like, who am I?
Who are you? And then I realized that, like, damn, like, I've lost, like, my unique sense of self. Like, I have a lot of ideas, a million ideas, but, like, you don't know if they're fleeting ideas or they're, like, the things that you're actually passionate about. So you're trying to, like, figure that out. So what it looks like for me now is just, like, just doing. Getting back to like how I was in the beginning, like when I was very sure or confident in what it is that I wanted to do. I was just doing anything. Like, oh shit, like you want to throw a party? Let's just throw a party. Like I have no intentions of becoming a professional party promoter, but I'll just do anything. I'll just exercise my ideas and not care about whether they fail or succeed. I would just be fearless in that sense. But obviously once you get success and you kind of like start to like really think that people care more than they actually do, realizing that they really don't. So like you then stifle yourself from like exercising or trying different things because you're like, oh, well, it has to be perfect, or like, you know, because like the reality, like social media is also it's also a bitch, right? Because, you know, like I'll post something on Instagram, and like I'll post a story, and like, and then you really realize who watches your shit, and you be like, damn, like that's a lot of pressure. Like I respect their taste a lot. Like I don't want them to think my shit weak, and then you like, you know, then you like, you know, you stifle yourself from not doing things because, but then you realize I was chilling with a girl the other day, and like this is literally her phone. And this is literally how she was living life, just like she was having a full conversation with me. Her Instagram stories were just going. Like, and I'm like, oh, like, this is like, I'm like, I'm curating my decisions based on what I believe that people are watching. Realize they don't really, nobody really cares, right? Nobody really cares. If your shit fails, great. If it succeeds, great. Like, it's the same thing, right? It's just like, have you ever failed and somebody went out their way to text you and say, yo, your shit flopped? No. So it's just like, why does it matter?
Yeah.
Right? And I had to like really retrain my brain, still retraining my brain to like just see the world that way again. Because like there was like, when you had nothing to lose, that wasn't even a thought process. But now it's just like, you know, I've lived my dreams like literally in 32 years. You know what I'm saying? Like I've lived a lot, like a really great life. But in that same breath, it's just like that should even make it easier, because why does anything matter now?
Yeah. But it doesn't.
It doesn't. Irony.
You've hit a string like with me as well. I had a baby boy a year ago, and part of that was thank you. Part of that was I started my therapy journey because I was like, I want to go to therapy and I want to figure out how I can be the best dad that I can be. So that was my goal. And confronting conversation with a therapist, it sounds like you came to this realization yourself. I needed someone to tell me. It was like, they said to me, all right, you're Dan, you're a manager, you're creative, you're an entrepreneur. That's great. Like, that's what you're known for and that's what you identify as. But like, if all that was stripped away, like, what are your values? Like, what do you care about? Like, who is Dan outside of that? And when I got asked that, I didn't have the answer off top, you know? And I think it kind of, not to say that's like where you were at, but it sounds like you were having you had the breakup and then you had time to kind of like reflect and think on things, and you start to sit there and go like, okay, who is Justice? Like, what is Justice like doing outside of, you know, everything that you're known for, your peers know you for, or even just people that follow you on Instagram? Like, what does that look like? How was that journey for you? And out of interest, like, what did you discover those things were?
I mean, I think you said it right. Number one, I'm still figuring it out, but like, it's just asking basic questions. Asking yourself, like, okay, cool. Well, how do you see your life? Do you believe in marriage? Okay, cool. Like, how do you feel like about kids? What is your timing? Like, okay, cool. When you're bored, what do you want to do? Why do you always want women around? Well, like, really just asking yourself normal questions, and then just like, be like, okay, I never thought about that. Oh, okay, like, let me explore that, right? And that's my viewpoint on it. Like, I don't have all the answers, but I'm just in that space of just doing what I want to do. Obviously, you know, I have obligations, but like, outside of that, it's just like just exploring, because I think that those answers are gonna come, because what I realized through time is just like, experience is the best teacher. And you realize what you don't like or what you do like based on, like, you know, what you went through. So right now I'm just like trying to make as many mistakes as I can.
Do you have mentors?
A ton of them. Yeah.
And do you tap in with them often, and you like calling them, and how does your, I guess, like, as you're exploring this and you're making mistakes, like, how does your relationship with those who have either come before you or your peers that you respect, like, tie into that?
You know what? I should do a better job reaching out to my mentors. I'm not gonna lie and say like I'm like the best seeker. I learn best in conversation. I learn best, you know, when thoughts are, you know, emotionally provoked and not like actively seeking. It's like this conversation right here. Again, I learned something new about myself just now. Like, curating people. Like, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. that's me at my best. So yeah, so like I think that for me it's just being open to the conversation at all times. But like I'm never really reaching out for like, life advice.
Jimmy called you one of the best executives in this new world of music. In 2025, what makes an exceptional music executive in your opinion?
I think taste is very important. I realize that like a lot of people that are in higher positions or positions of power have terrible taste. Like, yo, you just don't. Do you even listen to music? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you a fan of it? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a fan of music. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love who I love as my favorite artist. And I was just at a Tyler concert 2 days ago. And I'm like, damn, like this is really like one of my favorite artists right now. I love the world he's created, and like I love how he's like able to like, show the growth and evolution of him and being an artist. But anyways, to answer your question, I think that taste is important. I think that having a point of view is very important too. A lot of these dudes out here are just losers, just like with no point of view, no perspective.
Yes, people.
Yeah, they don't even know what they like.
Yeah.
You're like, oh yeah, that's hot. It's like, bro, are you sure? You know what I'm saying? Or did some intern tell you this was hot? You know what I'm saying?
Some A&R research.
Yeah, it's just like, Bryce is with me. Like we'll go back and forth. Bryce is an A&R at my company, and like we'll just go back and forth. And he like, yeah, I like this. I'm like, yeah, I hate it. But like, I'm like, tell me why you like it, and he'll tell me why he likes it. I'm like, I see that. Cool. I still hate it, but do you like it? Great. You know what I'm saying? Like,
go for it.
Go for it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That's just like, but that's like training people to be confident in their taste, and it's okay to miss out on shit. Right?
Yeah,
like
that's so true.
Yeah, it's like
when those signing flurries happen and people will just be getting hyped, and it's like, how often do they sit back and go, like, do I fuck with this, and will I actually do a good job working this project?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, those are like some of the very few, and also just like having relationships that are outside of music. I think that allows you to help build the artist world, and allows you to help build their brand. I think that's very important. Music is like a half of the pie.
Cool. You mentioned the artist having like a brand and a vision for themselves earlier on, and you kind of mentioned it around a music executive as well, and having taste. Like in today's world of the fast thumbs, what are you looking for in an artist? Like if you're going like, I fuck with this artist, obviously musically is like the number one leader of that. What else are you looking for? What else attracts you?
You know what I realized? And this is like, maybe this could be the most profound thing I ever say or the dumbest thing I ever say. But like, it hit me. And I'm like, why didn't this become that simple to me? And Drake said it best. Either you got it or you don't. The theory is brilliant. And I'm like, I always used to rap that quote, but I never really understood it till recently. Because I'm like, oh, you're talented, you're dope, but I just don't feel it.
You had a viral moment and your track's going crazy, but it's like, I just
don't feel the artist.
What's the artist?
I just don't feel it. You know what I'm saying?
The energy.
The ones that you feel it, where it just feels authentic and you believe like you just feel it, bro. You just feel it. You just know. Like I can't explain it. It's just one of those like gut feelings. Like I try to theorize it as much as I could, but like that quote just rang true to me. Either you got it or you got it. The theory is brilliant. It just is what it is.
Shout out Drake.
You can't fake it. You know what I'm saying?
Authenticity, right?
Yeah, you can't fake it. It just is. Like, you think about some of the biggest artists in the world, or like some of the biggest artists today. Like when you see them, you're like, yeah, I believe them. I believe everything about it.
Yeah. And I think Gen Z, like this new generation that's coming through and listening to music, that's something that they care about and see through pretty fast too. And
Yeah,
they'd be moving on pretty quickly on things if it doesn't feel authentic.
Yeah, they say Gen Z, but I think millennials was the same way. I think that
true.
it's always been the same. It just identifies differently. But like when I was coming up, the leaders in my space was Drake, Kendrick, J. Cole, all these guys, Wale, all these guys they were authentic to themselves, and like they were like, Travis. These guys had like a unique idea that they were pushing, right? And it's the same thing. I think that like Cardi just dropped his album, and like, it's obviously like polarized, and certain people don't get it, and certain people do. And I'm just like, guys, it's not the music. People just like that he's himself, and he's just exploring, what he wants to explore whenever he wants to explore it. That's what gets people in. Yeah, that's the theory.
Cool. We can skip this one if it's a wrong fact check, but I read that when you began college at Georgia State University, you met Kerry Hilson's manager.
Well, yeah. Remember, because I told you her brother was my, like, I guess, was it dorm mate, homemate, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like, we're in the same.
So you met the manager from that.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Just like all aligned because of my interest that I threw out into the world.
How pivotal was it meeting her, and how has that helped you realize your dreams? And
I just got to see it from the inside.
So you spent a lot of time together?
Who?
You and Kerry's manager?
No, not a lot of time. But I just got to see it. Like I just got to see it happen in real time. Like all you need is once or twice, and you be like, oh, okay, cool, I get it, I see it. Oh, this is what you do? Okay, cool, this makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wonder where he is today.
If you're watching this, cut the line.
I think his name was Al Jamal. Al Jamal. Let me see.
You need to give him a call after this, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. Al Jamal Jones. I have it.
Crazy.
Yeah. Blackberry.net. Wow, that was his email.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know how anyone was punching out anything on that little screen.
Yeah, like I had this whole vibe. Kerry Hilson.
Oh, crazy. Oh, look at the whole description.
Artist development, Motown Universal. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And what were the main things you learned from watching and being amongst it? In the orbit.
To be fair, again, my biggest teacher was being in it. Being in it was where I learned everything. I think that like just seeing it is like, okay, cool, this is a possibility. This is real. I get it. Cool, moving forward. I didn't really learn much in that space, but like just to be transparent, I think that like doing it and putting my first project together and all that, like that's when I was learning. You know what I'm saying?
Totally. What's been one of the most rewarding memories you have with one of your artists? I know it's hard singling one thing out and being like, this is just a rewarding memory. It doesn't have to be the most rewarding, but it could be one recently. It could be one 10 years ago.
Maybe my 29th birthday when we all went to the Dominican Republic. And like
crazy.
Yeah, and we just like hung out and just were friends again with my partners.
Was there a time
when else is just kind of like
it felt like
it's also my problem too. It's also my problem. Like I don't
celebrate your wins.
Yeah, I don't know what they feel like because I'm always looking for more.
Yeah, your high reaches a new level of high that you're kind of trying to like hit.
Yeah. So like, but I mean, I can say a million things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that like, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you.
Sounds like relationships with those people, right?
Yeah.
Because I had a manager once say to me, I don't know, jury's out on this as well. Like, I'd love your thoughts. Like, being really good friends with one of the artists you work with is bad, and you should not have it that way. And then I've had other managers say that, like, having a true friendship with your artists and walking through this journey and career of an artist and life of an artist together, I think you become like a shoulder to lean on. You become a bit of a therapist. You become a curator. You become like a studio homie. Like what's your feel on that? Like what does the perfect balance like kind of look like?
I think that goes right into what we were talking about earlier, which is just like, people's like insecurities or people's traumas will like try to like curate or inform what you should do. When the reality is just like there's no one size shoe that fits all.
Yeah.
Right. Artists are people just like we are, and you know, fortunately, unfortunately, we are in a creative business, and there is a balance between business and like, you know, caring about somebody, because it is like a creative space. It's not like black and white. There's a sense of relationship that you're going to need to build, and you can be best friends with them or you cannot be, but like it just all depends on what works for your dynamic. There's no one size fits all.
Yeah.
You know, I think that like the most important thing that you need, that I feel like the person failed to touch on, is respect. I think that like having the respect of an artist is way more important in like the longevity of like your business career with them. The friendship that's interchangeable based on, you know, what works for you. But yeah, respect. They have to respect you. You know, they have to believe in you, believe in your mind, believe in what it is that you're offering them. Because the minute that's gone, it's just like, you know, it's not cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. When did you first meet Black, and how did your relationship develop and form into what it is today?
I don't know if his first meet Black was like 2013, 2014. One of them. Yeah, 14 maybe. It was me and Tunde and Sean. We were just sitting at in their living room, and we were just like going through music. And a homie of ours sent Tunde a link to like check out Black's music, and we were just playing it. I was like, it's kind of dope, isn't it? Yeah, he's like, yeah, it's kind of dope, right? I was like, yeah. He's like, all right, cool, I'll set it up. So he set it up. A homie that, you know, he threw parties again, like, just being in the city and just being interchangeable with like, oh, these guys do like left of center shit, like they're into it. You know, they've had some success. They've made some noise a little bit. Let me reach out to them. They might be the first people to call. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was the vibe. And, you know, we met at a restaurant, and, you know, he had this big hair, and like he barely like really spoke. But like he was like cool and just like, you know, hungry, and he wanted it. And
he had it.
Huh?
He had it.
Yeah, and he wanted it, and he decided to. I told him, I said, hey, you know, like I have a studio in my house. It was like a shitty house, by the way. But I've had a
great. It's such a good one, right?
Yeah.
Studio.
I have a studio there. You know what I'm saying? It's, you know, you're more than welcome to like come over and hang out and just make music or whatever you want to do. You know, he's like, all right, cool. He came the next weekend and stayed on my couch for a year, never left.
Wow.
Yeah, and he just worked.
That's friendship.
Huh?
That's friendship.
Yeah, that's also belief.
It is belief.
Yeah, I believe that he had something dope, and like he was at it every day. He'd get up and just walk. The studio was in the kitchen, and he'll walk to the kitchen and he'll just be there all day. Like, and not like he was recording music all day, but like he'd just be there. Like he just wanted to be in the space of the music and like listen to what news coming out. And he's like literally on Twitter, desktop version, like looking at like what people are like talking about, what people are saying, like just understanding the zeitgeist of like music and where everybody is. And I think that was very important. And for that whole year, you know, as we were managing him, he was in a bad record deal. So we had to help him get out. And it took a year. That was that year that he was on my couch, to kind of like get out that deal. And when he finally got out that deal, as soon as he got out the deal, the first song we put out went viral. And that was it.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So wait, 2013 you said?
20
was when you first connected?
2013, 2014
was when you first connected.
Yeah.
I think that in itself is a testament. You know, it's 2025 right now.
Yeah.
You guys have that relationship.
Yeah.
You've built that.
Yeah.
It's pretty
crazy.
phenomenal.
It's crazy how time flies.
It's crazy how time flies, but it's also not very often that people are in the cut that long together in this game.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you think has aided that?
Friendship.
Respect.
Yeah, respect. Yeah.
Belief.
We've all grown in like, you know, being different people, but at the end of the day, like, we've grown in our crafts. You know what I'm saying? And like, he knows, okay, cool. Like they are making what, you know, makes sense for them, and like they're building something special, and like we're building something special together. And he as an artist, and he's like trying to identify what he cares about and what's important to him. So I think that like being able to relate at different points is so important. But overall, yeah, I think that friendship and that respect, the thing that the person was telling you not to do. But
yeah, facts. I didn't listen to them.
Yeah.
What about Summer?
When did I meet Summer? I met Summer 2016, 2017. Yeah, around then.
How'd you meet?
Met because a friend of mine introduced me to a girl named Summer.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
There were 2 Summers, right? It was, I remember you telling me the story at one of the parties.
So DJ Oso.
Yeah.
She's a DJ in Atlanta. She's really talented, really dope friend of mine. Her roommate was a girl named Summer. And Summer was like really talented artist, and she like made like physical art, and like so when I go to her like her crib, it would just be like all these like huge paintings and like things like these clouds and all this shit that she was making. I'm like, yo, like she's dope. Like let me like whatever. Cool. Long story short, this is again we were in the middle of like some success with Black with the first album. We did the Interscope venture.
Yeah.
And we got an office building. And I was just looking for somebody interesting and unique to like come help put the space together.
This is the Atlanta one that you guys had the studios at?
The first one, yeah. The first one that we got, yeah. Was looking for somebody to help us put the space together, and then it hit me. I was just like, she's so dope. Like, let me ask her. Let me see if she's interested. So she came to the space. She checked it out. And she's like, yeah, I'm down to help you. So she helped us put that space together. It was so dope.
Like interior design, overall vibes, energy.
Yeah, it was so dope. She did a great job. And
so you did that before you talked music?
Yeah, I mean, we weren't talking about music at all.
Yeah, crazy.
Like, that was not even the vibe. But no, not the story's is gonna connect for you in a second.
Okay.
So as she does my interior space, everybody loves it. The whole vibe is good. Then I was like, yo, like, would you just manage it for us? Because I don't know if anybody like is gonna care about it as much as you. And she's like, yeah, cool, whatever, I'm down. So then, as time goes by, obviously our relationship gets better. She's like, yo, there's this girl that I've like been like looking at for a long time. I was Googling myself once, and she popped up or something like that. Her name is Summer Walker as well. I was like, okay, cool. She showed me Summer Walker, and I'm like, cool, bring her in, and she brought her in. So Summer Walker started managing Summer Walker.
That's a crazy iMessage group chat, bro.
Summer Walker started managing Summer Walker, then brought Summer Walker to us to sign.
On a label front, which was your JV with Interscope.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah. So that's how that happened.
So that's how you met Summer, and then how did your creative partnership form? Like from there, like what did that look like? Were you guys, because you had the studio at your house?
No. The studio at the house was like, that studio at the house was Rory Drum days.
Oh, yeah. And then you got the new space, which had the studio in it. So
like
she
Rory,
just pull up and
like
record
Rory and Drum were like our first like thrown into like the music industry, and like in terms of like in like a major way.
Cigarette Song was my shit. That was crazy.
Wow, the fact that you remember that's crazy. So like that was like our first introduction to the music industry, but like didn't really make money until like Black, like Free Black went crazy, and that was like the first. So like then we got a building after that.
I know we're talking about Summer.
Yeah.
Whose idea was the bear? And who made sure that was...
Wait, what bear? Black bear?
The bear on the Black cover. And who made sure that shit was safe? Whose bear was that?
Some guy here. It's a guy.
Is a guy in LA?
Yeah, it's like a bear handler.
You just Google, or you had a plug?
I just Googled bear handler.
You just had a moment where you're like...
Yeah, I mean, because Black, like his thing with his fans at that time was bear. He used to call himself Bear.
Yeah.
He looked like a bear. He had the demeanor of a bear. So it was just
was he freaking out when? Because wasn't that behind him? Like, wasn't he sitting on the front of the bear?
Nah, he was chill.
Really?
Yeah, he's chill. I mean, it was a bear. It's a bear handler. Like,
yeah, but the bear handler,
But
the bear handler wasn't in the shop with him. The bear handler's like, it's like us. It's like we're here, but maybe I'm the bear, like super close to you, and then the bear handler's like over there.
Yeah,
and he was fine.
yeah, it's fine.
It's crazy.
It's okay.
I would not be fine.
Doing it for greatness.
Doing it for great. That was greatness in a nutshell, man.
Yeah.
That was crazy. So, Summer, I'm gathering she started coming to the studio a lot at the new office, and you guys built your relationship.
Yeah. I mean, because when I signed Summer, I just knew she was special. I just didn't know how it would work.
Was there a project then that you signed off, or did you go into developing?
Yeah, just songs. Like heard Session 32. I was like, yeah, she's fire.
Yeah.
She heard there was another song on the last day of Summer project. It was a song called You Don't Know Me. I think it's the name of the song. Yeah, that was the song where I heard. I was like, absolutely. She was like, she was a songwriter. And I'm like, worst comes to worst, she's gonna write a great song. You know what I'm saying? If it works or it doesn't, she's gonna work. She's gonna write a great song. The song is called Just Like Me.
Cool.
Yeah, Just Like Me was. Anyways, so Summer Walker, the manager, that first project, that was her and Summer together. Like that was their vision. I was hands off. I was in black world.
And you were A&R in that. Summer was managing Summer.
I was not A&R.
You weren't A&R?
I did not A&R that first project.
Wow.
Yeah, I was. I guess on paper, sure.
But it was Summer,
you know what I'm saying. But that was both. That was the Summer Walker and Summer Walker. That was their baby. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
They would just send me songs, and I'm like, I tell them which ones I like. But like, it was, I gave my feedback when I gave my feedback, but that was them. You know what I'm saying? Because I was in Black World. I was helping Black figure out his East Atlanta Love Letter project and et cetera, et cetera. But me and Summer always had like a synergy, just because of just like how we just spoke to each other. We just related. So I think.
Where do you think that came from? That synergy? What was it?
I don't know.
Just energy.
The theory's the theory.
She's big on energy, right? That's her thing.
Yeah, it is.
She cares a lot about that.
Yeah, I think the honesty, being authentic to who we are, being outspoken. I think that resonates with her. Yeah, I couldn't tell you, but yeah,
then from there, you wrapped up East Atlanta Love Letter. You got into more Summer World.
Yeah, I think that I fell more into Summer World when her and the other Summer had a breakup. And then because of that breakup, we obviously started talking more and more and more and more, and then I just kind of
knew what you had to do.
She just kind of took over my world. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. To this day.
I love that. True friends.
Yeah.
What do you think are the most important attributes every manager should have? Because I think you're probably the same as me. You have artists say, hey, can you manage me? Or, hey, I'm looking at a manager. What should I be looking for? How would you wrap that up in the simplest way for an artist wanting to figure out who their point guard is?
This is a new artist?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, because again, different points of your career require different answers.
Let's do new artists, because I think a lot of people listening will be wanting to understand that.
As a new artist, most important attributes for a manager, I think, is just number one, the ability to have a vision and really see what and how it is you want to paint, how you want to paint the canvas, right? Because as a new artist, you can do anything, right? They haven't popped yet. They're still trying to figure out their lane. So because of that, it's a clean canvas, and you got to know how you're going to build everything. So having a vision, really being able to zoom out of things and to see the whole board, I think is very important. Being able to be resourceful is extra important. How can you have this great idea but execute it because you have no money? Okay, cool. Who do I know? What favors can I call? Just being resourceful, I think, is very important. And number three, somebody that understands business and has a good enough business etiquette. You don't have to be a Harvard graduate or anything, but just like the fundamentals of business they understand. And number 4, I think, is tenacity, right? Somebody that like a no doesn't scare them. They're gonna figure out how to turn that no into a yes, and knows how to present themselves and present the project. I think that's all. I think all those things are important. And the fifth and final thing is just like being able to have a genuine relationship with the artist in terms of you can articulate their vision better than they can. You know what I'm saying? Or just as good as they can when they're not in the room.
How did you turn no's into yeses when you were starting out and you were being resourceful and you had the artist's vision and your vision combined?
Presentation. I think presentation is the most important thing. You can have a terrible song, but like if I show you this terrible song with a really dope video, you might not ask like who produced the song. You're like, yo, who directed that? Right? There's some sort of like connectivity to at least pique your interest for you to believe that there's something there, right? It might not be what I want it to be, the full package, but there's something there. I think that like we have to remember that it's art, and art inspires creativity, and art inspires curiosity. So like if I show you something that's dope, if I present it well, you're gonna ask a follow-up question if it's just one thing hit with you. Like being very detail oriented is just like is so underrated. But like, as to the point to where like I remember when we were shooting our first music videos, like even how the hat will sit on the person's head was so important. How the person was holding the water bottle was so important. Like every detail was so important because you just realize that like that's what makes it just like great to excellent.
So we've spoken about the most important attributes of a manager. And I think you're in a unique situation when you've done work as I know a lot of managers also A&R, but you've run a successful record label as an A&R, and you've also successfully managed projects. For artists who are navigating their first conversations with A&Rs that are hitting them, I know everyone's different. We went back to the start of this conversation. You said every artist has different needs and what they want, but what are some of the attributes or things that if a young artist was, their line was being hit by 6-7 different A&Rs and they're not knowing which way to turn, what are some of the attributes that you would tell them they should look for?
One is, can you have a conversation with this person for longer than 30 minutes without it being weird? Because you're gonna have
those meetings.
You're gonna have to spend time with them, right? Like, I think that's very important. Like, does the A&R also understand your vision? I think it's very important to like meet who you're gonna be working with, right? And like who comes into the fold. So, I think that a lot of new artists, a lot of them get motivated by the money or get motivated by what's happening. And they're never looking at the day-to-day of like how you're going to need this person or this person's going to help you to get to where you want to get to. So, also like putting them to the test, like, yo, like I have this idea and like, I want to make this type of song. Like, who do you know that can like help put it together? And if they can't, then you shouldn't be working with them, right? Like the A&R, if you're listening as a new artist, that A&R is supposed to help you connect the dots. And it's supposed to help you put together a project and bring in creatives, if you allow them, to help make it better. So put them to the test and really like test your taste, test your relationships, and test your knowledge. Like I couldn't tell you how many A&Rs probably don't even know what a good mix is. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you can't tell that this sounds off, and it's off in timing and it's out of tune. Like all these things are important. But this is who's out there is handling your music. So,
and for young artists out there, if you are speaking to an A&R or multiple,
it's not speak to them, to be honest. They suck.
But it's not disrespectful to build that relationship and start working in some shape or form and testing them out and catching a vibe before you enter into something, you know. I think it's like, you know, that's something I always encourage artists to do, is like go and take the meetings and meet people and build energy, but then also, start working on something together. Because if you're going to be in the cut with them for the next, you know, 2, 3, 5, 10, whatever your deal looks like, you know, put them to the test.
Yeah, give them a task and like see how easily they are to adapting. You know, see how easily they are to like, you know, really just trying to understand what it is that you're trying to understand. And how do they help you? Do they educate you? You know, do they put you in the right rooms? You know what I'm saying? Do they have a vision? Is it cool to be around them? All those things are important. You know what I'm saying? Like, a laptop A&R is not who you want to sign to.
No.
Yeah, so.
What do you think are some of the biggest misconceptions right now of working in the music industry?
I don't know. What are the misconceptions? I don't know.
It's a question for you, Doug.
I'm just so disconnected from like... Yeah, I couldn't even tell you. Like, I don't...
Cool.
I mean, it's everything that it looks like is chaotic, is uncertain, is it's a gamble.
You got to be some kind of crazy motherfucker to get into it.
Yeah. It's not, but it's also fun if you do it right. You know, music is access to a lot of different worlds. So if you have interest in other things and you're in the music industry, you can potentially get closer to those other things. There are a lot of dumb people, you know, really slow people, like not smart at all. It's not like tech, right? Where like, because music is the only thing.
Sure.
Music is like the only thing where like there is no barrier to entry. I can upload a song right now on TikTok and it can go crazy. And give me $1 million just because the song went crazy on TikTok. What a fucking dummy. Like, no other world does that happen, right?
The barriers to entry.
No, like if I want to be in the NBA, I have to work every day and night for 18 years for me to be considered to be a professional athlete. You know what I'm saying? If I want to be in Silicon Valley, I have to be proficient in code and like really understand what I'm talking about a little bit. Music, bro.
How do you feel about that? About how that's changed? Because it's like when I think I first met you, you know, there was this kind of era. I don't know what year Spotify disrupted the industry, but it was like Spotify became super influential. They still are to this day, but they kind of took a lot of that influence from the labels, and the labels were kind of subject to Spotify and DSPs and playlist and editorial. And then, you know, eventually we're now at this place in the music industry where like the fan is the be all and end all. Like you can pull all the levers and those levers are still great to pull and people should be pulling them in the label systems and in the management systems. But at the end of the day, it's like how do you feel about the current state where the fan is truly in control?
How do I feel about it? It's frustrating, but it's best. It's best because the middleman is removed, which was the label, right? Like at the end of the day, it creates an opportunity for people to be able to choose what they like, not what they're told to like. And I think the music industry has been like falling on its face since like 2003, 2004. And like my generation was part of it, you know, like the LimeWire, Napster,
Crazy.
You know, like we actually like ushered it in, you know what I'm saying? And we're like, fuck what y'all talking about. Like I'm downloading music illegally. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like so knowing that was like the foundation of even where I started, like who could I be to this day and age to like say, oh, these kids are taking over. Like, bro, this is what we were doing, right? We helped lead this thing in. So I can't feel a way about it. You just have to adapt. I think that the music industry's problem is that we never want to problem solve. We just want to complain, right? Like that's the biggest thing. And that's why tech decided to come into music and just like hit it with a fucking dagger. Because it's just like, bro, what we do in tech is we problem solve.
Yeah.
That's the difference. You know, when Steve decided to put everything on a fucking iPhone or iPod, like that was him problem solving. iTunes was him problem solving. And then now, the music industry is now belongs to tech. But like the executives that decide, who gets signed, who doesn't get signed, again, it's just like some fucking dinosaurs that don't want to problem solve. They just want to complain and like, oh, it's not streaming. It's just like, what is the value in the artist? What is the value in the music? And let's figure out how to create a new, way for people to consume. People are consuming how they consume, but like you get fucking caught up in like mandates by Universal and shit. You like, bruh, you know what I'm saying? Which was like a huge part of like us finding independence as a company today, because it's just like, what the fuck is a mandate? Things are meant to change based on what happened last night.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's cool.
Yeah.
What's the best piece of advice you've been given in regards to working in this industry? I know that's a massive one if you need a second.
No, best piece of advice I ever got is that nobody knows anything.
I think it's one of the hardest things in this game is like you've got choice A and choice B and you figure out which way you're going to go.
Yeah.
And you don't know until you've done it.
Yeah.
It's like the calculated, like even calculating risk, calculating like what the narrative should be, which way we should go. It seems sometimes impossible.
Yeah. Nobody knows anything. I'm just yapping right now, telling you what I think, but like, the fuck do I know? I could be wrong. And that's okay.
It's okay to be wrong.
Yeah.
You've done a lot right.
Yeah.
So how have you dealt with making mistakes? How's that been for you on your journey?
I don't like making mistakes, but it's a part of it. So I just had to had to just get used to it. Like, remember I told you, like, that's where I am now, where I'm just like, oh, just do. Just do. Like I said, once you get more successful, the stakes get higher because the pressures of the world and like, I got to hit my numbers and, my P&L, like, you have people employed to you and it's not just you anymore. Like you have a lot of responsibilities that you don't really see as like, outside forces and like how you're going to react to the world. But it's real. And I'm back in the space of like, hey, bruh, I might just go out here and just try. That's my Atlanta accent, by the way. But yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah. Adaptation.
Last question. Looking back now, what advice would you give to the younger version of yourself in those early days of pursuing a career in this?
Stay away from hoes.
That's one. 2.
Keep following your dreams. It's all going to work out. 3, read more. Yeah.
What are you reading right now?
That was the advice I'll give to my younger self. I need to read more.
Oh, you need to read more?
Yeah. It's like been my series on Instagram right now. I'll be in the middle of a club and be like, I need to find a book. That's like my new thing right now. So eventually I'll find a book. But yeah, I used to be a huge reader and like, yeah, I need to get back on it.
You just got busy?
Yeah, I got busy. Then it became just like an excuse and just realized that like, also like I'm sleepy all the time now too. Cause like the older I got, I'm like, damn, like I'm tired like a lot. Cause like mentally, like I'm just like working so much.
Yeah.
So yeah, so like I try to read a book and I'm like fall asleep 10 minutes in. So yeah, I'm figuring it out.
Drop some books in the comments if you've got a book to suggest for this. Drop your books in the YouTube comments. Thank you so much for your time, man.
For sure.
I know I've said it before and I'll say it again. I respect you greatly, and
thank you.
You're one of the
Likewise.
first people that we connected with out here, and I think curator, visionary, entrepreneur, sum you up, and I appreciate how honest you've been today. I think a lot of people are gonna take some amazing things away from this and keep trying and keep doing. So I appreciate you.
For sure. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you.
Cheers.